All right, what is up, bro? So, in this video, I want to talk about dopamine detoxing. Just real quick, one thing I'll say before I'm trying out this new video format where, if you're familiar with my content, you'll know usually I have kind of a scripted format I take, but I'm just going to go off the cuff. Hopefully, this will come off more authentic, more raw, and more useful, right? Please do give me feedback in the comments, letting me know if you prefer the old way or the new way. It'll really help me out because, again, at the end of the day, I make these videos to entertain you, hopefully, give you some good advice as well. And without further ado, let's dive into this, right? So, dopamine detoxing. Now, look, here's the thing. Here's how I really feel about this topic. Now, if we look at the old me, right, especially going back to like high school, who I was literally smoking weed day and night. Like any moment I could get to smoke weed, I was smoking weed. And I was trying to hide it from my parents as well, right? This is high school days. And I would like smoke weed, come back, hope I was still high so that I could jack off and it would feel good. Like realistically, this was my life. And I was sleeping through the rest of the day and just doing nothing productive with my life. I was failing all my high school courses, and I didn't have the best friend group at that time either. And this was the reality. So I guess the best way I can sum it up is any chance that I could get to seek out pleasure, I was taking it because I was so miserable in my life. I was never clinically depressed. So I don't want to say like I was depressed when I wasn't. Like, I don't know, but I definitely had all the symptoms. The life borderline didn't feel like worth living at times. I struggled a lot with anxieties, insecurities, all that stuff. Anxiety, like even to this day, I'm very open about it on this channel. But anxieties and insecurities have been a constant struggle in my life. Anxiety in particular, literally since as long as I can remember being alive, I've struggled with it. Struggled with anxiety. All right. And I just remember back then, like my social anxiety, especially, was so bad. Like I would be in like a social situation or like a dating situation. Literally, like my body would start shaking and I wouldn't be able to, like get a word out. And I just feel like this awkward weirdo and the creep weirdo in the corner. Right. And this is what my life was like anyway back then. And my first kind of introduction to this dopamine detox type of world was NoFap, right? So I got on NoFap, and I've talked about NoFap many times, so I won't elaborate too much there. But long story short, as I started doing these things of dopamine detoxing, like going on NoFap, not watching porn, fapping all the time, not wasting my time with these things, I did start to feel better. So I definitely think the detoxing has merit, right? 100% it has merit. Now, here's where my beef kind of comes with it, right? So yeah, as far as the dopamine detoxing changed my life, 100% it did. Because as I started to scale back on the fapping and all these things, then emotions started coming. Because ultimately, I was seeking out pleasure all the time because I had so much pain and I was just trying to avoid that pain, right? So then emotions started coming up and I had to, of course, deal with them. That was largely a positive. Also, now I had all this time in my life, and also I got energy back because when you're fapping all the time and just laying around, like you're so tired. If you've been in a similar situation, I'm sure you're familiar, but you're just so damn drained all the time. So I got energy back and I could channel that energy into productive things. These are major benefits that I definitely got from dopamine detoxing. Now, here's where my beef comes with it, right? And this is something of you I've shared many times on this channel as well is twofold really. One is the guilt and shame that's associated with when you slip up or have a relapse. Oh, you spent all day playing video games. Oh, you ordered a pizza to yourself, whatever it may be, or you fapped, whatever it may be, right? This is where my beef comes with it because I feel like that sets an unrealistic expectation from the start. I can tell you right now, at least in my experience, if you're expecting that, because I did this so many times, I would make these promises to myself: starting tomorrow, I'm never gonna fap again, and never gonna eat junk food again, and it was just unrealistic. It was just unrealistic. It's human to be imperfect. It's human to make mistakes, right? And it's just something that's going to happen time and time again because it's such an easy thing to reach out for. And of course we all go through pain in life and we all go through trials and tribulations. You're going to have times where you just want to feel good and you reach out for that, and that's okay, right? That's the first point I want to make. In the self-improvement space, there's this constant guilt tripping about it, like, oh, you're a weak man, bro, this is a competition among men, bro. If you fap today, your competition's gonna, like, what the fuck, man? Like, you know what I mean? So to all those people, I would say, take a deep breath, relax, right? Like, it's not that serious, right? So what I mean by this is, again, there's no point, again, you're going to slip up, you're only human. There's no point feeling all this guilt and all this shame all the time over these things. It doesn't help you. It sure as shit didn't help me, right? Because what happens when you feel guilty? You feel guilty, or at least this is my case, right? I would feel guilty and then I would feel really bad, and then I would want some more vices to numb the new pain that I'm feeling. Nothing productive came out of my guilt. right? Because if it was like, oh, I felt guilty and then I never did it again, then I'd be like, okay, great, guilt actually has some usefulness. But 90% of the time, what would happen is I'd feel really guilty, feel like shit. A few days would pass, and I'd do it again, and then it was like the cycle of guilt. So that's the main point I'm making. First point is don't expect perfection, because no way in hell you're gonna hit it. At least that's been my experience. And the second thing is, I think sometimes it can be almost cult-like, almost cult-like. And here's what I mean by that: is there's this almost expectation in the self-improvement world of you do dopamine detox, and you got to get up at 6 a.m. in the morning now, bro, and like 12 a.m. PM, right? 12 p.m. is like your gym time, bro, and then you got to do deep work for 4 hours, bro, and then oh my god, you play video games for 1 hour, you fucking loser. Like, it's like, relax, you know what I mean? Like, again, it's not that serious. And what I mean here is a lot of these things, it's especially if you were in a position like the old me, right? It's way too big of a difference between like your current routine and this self-improvement routine, right? So recognize that it's going to take some time to get to that place, slowly but sure. It's the same way as like if someone was in terrible shape, you wouldn't put them on like an athlete's diet and workout. You work them up to it, right? But the second thing is just truthfully, like, I was able to accomplish all the goals that I wanted to accomplish without doing all that. Now, am I saying waste your time all day and don't do those? Like, no, that's not what I'm saying. All those things are productive. Meditation is productive. Journaling is productive. Like, these are positive things. But all I'm saying is recognize what's getting you towards your goal and what's nice to have, right? And it's important to knock out the nice to have. Now, here's what I really mean by that. I hope this drives the point home. For a long time, when I was, especially on NoFap, right? I would do NoFap, I would relapse, I would feel guilty, and I was like, oh, now I'm going to be less assertive because NoFap gives me superpowers to be more assertive. And this is how I lived my life for years and years and years, right? But the truth of the matter was, and I wish I was just able to see it at the time, is even when I was on a long NoFap streak, I felt maybe 10% more assertive than normal. Like, who cares about that? It was a negligible difference, but I'd blow it up in my mind, oh, I have these superpowers now, and when I fap, they're going to be gone. When realistically, ever since I've taken up boxing, martial arts, I feel a lot more confident in my ability, in self-defense situations, whatever it may be, right? That's had like a 50, 60, 70 exponential effect, right? Compared to NoFap. So the point I'm making here is just recognize what's moving the needle, what isn't. Again, I'll drive another point. I'll make another point to really drive this point home, and I hope this does. Is there's all this talk about meditation, gratitude journaling, NoFap, or whatever. And the big reason a lot of guys get into self-improvement, or at least the big reason I got into it, is to improve our dating lives, right? So if we take two guys, identical guys, one guy's on self-improvement, working out in the morning, fucking meditating, doing all that shit, but he's not going out and actually putting himself in situations to meet women, he's going to get borderline no results. Right? He may be more attractive objectively than, other guys. Obviously, he's starting to work out now and he's looking good, but the results are going to be minimal. Whereas this other guy, even if he has bad habits, he slips up, whatever, but he goes out, he puts himself in social situations, he sees a woman attractive and he's vulnerable, he asks her out, things like this, right? That guy within like 3 months will beat the other guy by a fucking landslide. So that's what I'm saying. Just recognize what moves the needle and what doesn't. Those are the two just caveats I throw. So was dopamine detox useful for me? Of course, very useful. It allowed me to let go of bad habits, right? But the second point is, or rather the two main points are, A, don't feel guilt if you slip up. I can just about guarantee you will slip up. And B, recognize what's moving the needle forward and what isn't, right? For me, I got in great shape because I was focusing on my nutrition, I was focusing on my workouts, even though I've broken my NoFap streak and a bunch of other, I didn't meditate daily, I didn't journal daily, I didn't do all that stuff. But because I was focusing on my nutrition and workouts, I still achieved my goal physique, right? I wanted to make a lot of money. I focused on my coding, even though I was breaking my NoFap streak constantly. I was a bloody mess throughout most of it, I had a horrible attention span. I wasn't doing deep work, any of that. I still reached my goal on that end. Right. That's all I'm saying. Right. Again, the more positive habits, the better. Please don't get me wrong. Please don't think I'm saying like, oh, just mess around all day. That's not what I'm saying. Right. But just make sure you're doing the impactful habits, and then the rest, the more positive habits you can throw on, the better. Right. But that's the only point I'm making here. So I hope that made sense. Now, another point that, it's about 10 minutes into the video, so I'll cut this video short so it doesn't get too long. But another point that I do want to talk about eventually, especially with this NoFap, but even other bad habits, right, is recognizing that these bad habits tend to be symptoms rather than the problem, right? And again, I'll summarize this very shortly. Hopefully this will make at least some sense. But one example as far as the NoFap, right? Is I always thought porn is a problem. Oh, I'm watching porn, that's bad, right? But porn was not the problem. My loneliness was the problem, right? What would happen is, I'd say I was on Tinder or something. I'd get no matches. I'd feel like crap about myself. My self-esteem would take a hit, and then I would reach out to porn. So porn was a band-aid that I was putting on the problem. The problem was I was feeling very lonely. I was feeling like I wasn't attractive. I wasn't desirable. These things, right? And as I've started to work on that, and as I've started to improve my dating life, my desire for watching porn and all that is just naturally started going down, right? So porn was the symptom, not the problem. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I watched porn like a few days ago, So just to be transparent with you, but the point I'm trying to make is it's not as simple. Sometimes in the self improvement space, again, it's made to be as simple. Oh, just don't do this bad habit. You're weak, bro. It's just like you're just the worst, bro. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, it's not like that. It's not like that. So again, if you're in a similar situation to me, maybe just look at, oh, what causes me to watch porn, or what causes me to do this habit that you want to quit, and then see if this bad habit, which looks like the problem, may actually be the symptom of a problem that needs addressing, right? So hopefully that made sense. And yeah, that's all I got for this video. So I hope that really helped you out. I hope this will give you some actionable steps to take forward towards improving your life. I really want you to imagine you take this advice and you run with it, right? And imagine that, you've taken this to heart and say you want to improve your dating life. So now you're going out again, even if you slip up on your nofap, or, you don't go to the gym, whatever, who cares, right? If your goal is improving the dating life, you're going out to social events, you're putting yourself out there constantly. And within 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, right, your dating life has improved drastically and you're getting great results on that end, right? Imagine that. Or maybe your goal is, again, to be more assertive or something like this. So again, whether you're on your nofap streak, whether you're meditating or not, like those things are cool, but you focus on picking up a martial art or something like this, something that makes you feel more confident in yourself, right? You're doing that for 3 months, 6 months. Maybe you had your first fight in the ring, right? And now you feel way more confident about yourself on that end, right? Imagine that. And that's the path you're on. Hey, keep working hard. I believe in you, but what I believe doesn't matter. What you believe matters. So I hope you believe in yourself too. And that's all I have for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Ultimately, I want this to be our positive little community where we help each other, support each other, and frankly, bring some common sense back into self-improvement. Like I said, and in the self-improvement space, there's so many fucking weirdos. Like, there's no other way for me to say it, unfortunately. Like, this red pill and black pill, I don't even know how many pills there are at this point, but just absolute weirdos spreading toxic mindsets and influencing other men, especially the younger generation, right, with this toxic bullshit. So I hope that with this channel, we can bring some common sense back into the space. If you like the vision, if you like the message I'm spreading, please come support and help me bring some common sense back into the space. And also, just to be completely transparent, I do want to start making money from this. I like this stuff. I'm passionate about it. And ideally, if I could just do YouTube in the morning, do my martial arts or boxing in the evening, that would be my dream life, right? Or let me get one of those YouTube boxing fights, right? I said it before, I say it again. Right hand to God, man. I'd fight any of these YouTube boxing YouTubers, no problem, no problem. To make a lot of money and get better at fighting, that's literally all I want. So anyway, please do support. I'll leave my Instagram and TikTok in the description, also somewhere here. Please support there as well. Please do like, comment, and subscribe. All that support will help me make my dream a reality. And I'll talk to you later. Peace.